Hey YouTube, it's been 6 months since I started making YouTube videos on this channel. The time has really flown by, so I figured, given that it was the 6 month anniversary was 2 days ago on July 3rd, and I figured it's time for a little update. So in this video, we're going to go over some information about, I'll give you some information about the channel and how it's grown, what works and what doesn't. We'll talk about some developments in my life that may affect this channel, and then we'll also talk about future plans. So I have some information. I got my notebook here, and so let's go through some basic numbers real quick. So first, I've made 78 videos that are public. So 78, which is but in total, I've made well over 100. I think probably even over 120 videos. I just haven't fully counted. And that's including all videos on the membership channel, so public and membership only, as well as videos that are private because they just didn't work for whatever reason. Or they were early videos from the first month or so of this channel when I was just throwing ideas at the wall. I wasn't sure what this channel was going to become. So some of them didn't make sense now with the direction of the channel, so I've made them private. But in total, I've made well over, I want to say over 120 total, at least over 100. And in the public videos, it's 78. So I think those are pretty good numbers in terms of output for the first 6 months. With that level of output, I'll be on track to hit 100 videos by the end of the year, no doubt, in the next 6 months. So views, I've got 108,000 views. So that's pretty good. Subscribers, right now it's at 1,698. A few days ago it was at 1,700. I think I'm starting to gain and lose some subscribers here and there. Probably just normal, people figuring out whether they want to watch this channel long term or not. Totally fine. Earnings are approximately $400. I think it's sort of between $400 and $500. It's closer to maybe like $430, $440 maybe. And that's all ad revenue, or mostly ad revenue. It's also memberships and donations. Now we'll talk about that in a bit because there have been some problems with the earnings on this channel, but I'll explain that later. Now, looking at this channel, now that I've been doing this for 6 months, what's been working? So I went through all my videos and I wanted to see what topics have gotten the most views, basically trying to figure out what you, my audience, what you want to see, right? The sun is doing a nice reflecting thing on my face here. And then go, okay. So I looked back through the videos to see what you all like to watch. And basically it's pretty clear the top 5 videos, were the Great Minkus Path video, which is one of the first videos I ever made, and that's still the best performing video on the channel. That was about the Great Minkus Path here in Delaware County. And then the Lower Swedish Cabin, also in Delaware County. Penn's Landing Site, which is over in Chester. And then the only Revolutionary War Tavern in Philly that's still existing. So that video is done really well. And then the video where I went and found the lost gravesite of Lenape Sachem. I was looking for Sachem Taminen's gravesite, and I found the gravesite of what was probably the gravesite of another Sachem named Alumapis, and a spring where the Native Americans probably visited many times over the last thousands of years. So those were the videos that did really well. And there are certain themes that are pretty clear in those videos. First, 2 of those videos are about Lenape Indians, and 3 are about colonial sites. So it's pretty clear that you as the audience, you really like Lenape and colonial visits. And especially 4 of those videos were filmed in the suburbs. And I even want to say the one video that was filmed in the city in Philadelphia, it was the only revolutionary tavern that still exists, called Man Full of Trouble. And I feel like one of the reasons that people liked watching that is that most of my audience, I think, is in the suburbs or in the Delaware Valley region, right? And not everybody knows about that place in Philly. So that's sort of, there's a suburban connection there too, right? And I think that really is something I'm going to listen to going forward, that my audience really wants me to show you guys the hidden places that are either in the suburbs, they can be in the city, but really focus on the hidden places in the suburbs where Lenape and colonial sites exist that not everyone knows, you know? Like, I grew up in Delaware County. I'm from this area. I was born in the city, but I grew up in Delaware County. So I've spent all my life in the woods around here, and I know some interesting places. And when this channel first started, I was spending a lot more time than I have been in this spring. I was spending a lot more time out here in Delaware County. So I think that was what drew people in, and that's, I think, what we should do, right? I'm going to refocus. So the focus going forward is going to be Lenape and colonial sites. And we're going to focus on the suburbs. So Delaware County, Montgomery County, Bucks County. Maybe we'll get out into like Chester County also, and then maybe also like over in New Jersey or Delaware. We'll see a little bit, but really focusing on the Philadelphia suburbs and Pennsylvania, and just exploring Lenape sites. I do want to get up into the Delaware Water Gap, but the key is I want to show you places that I know about that not everybody else does, and places that are hidden, either important sites in Native American culture that are just in the woods where no one really visits, or like old village sites that people don't realize are just right there, you know? I think I've been doing a lot of videos that I was doing different things because I've been in the city a lot. I live in Center City, in Philadelphia. So it's where I spend most of my time. And over the past 6 months, when this channel got some traction, I got very excited and I had a lot of fun making videos about other topics. But to be quite honest, I don't think that the audience, I don't think you guys really want to watch those videos. They were mostly for me, I think. So I think what I'll do with those videos, and let me tell you about those topics. So the topics that I won't be making more videos on, at least for now, unless, you know, you really want, are city street art, like those murals that are in South Philly, those tiles, the Toynbee tiles. So we won't do more of those. Also, Black history stuff. I went to the Mother Bethel AME church, and I found those sort of forgotten steps on that row home in South Philly where Harriet Tubman she stood on those steps. People don't seem to, I mean, those are interesting to me, but I'm not sure everybody else finds those interesting. And sadly, the Mason-Dixon line stones. Mason-Dixon line, I'm really into finding those stones, but I think visiting the individual stones is not as interesting to everyone. I may do a few more for the membership channel, and then maybe what I'm thinking I'll do is I do want to make an effort to visit every single stone on the Mason-Dixon line. There are hundreds of them, so it's going to take me a long time. And maybe that's something that I'll work on over a couple of years. And then when I'm done, I will compile all of those visits to each stone into one big video where I just show you, here's all 100, or sorry, there are like 150 of these stones. It depends on how you count, but there are many of these stones, right? And I'll just visit as many as I can, or all of the ones on the Mason-Dixon line on the southern border of PA, and then I'll compile them all into one big video, and I'll just show you them. But that'll take a while, and there's a wrinkle in my personal life that'll also delay that project a little bit, which we'll talk about next. But the other things that I probably won't focus on are just travel videos. Like I just got back from Lake Tahoe, and I filmed some videos about the Washoe people who lived around Lake Tahoe, the Native Americans there. Those videos did okay, but I don't know that people are super into them. Earlier in the spring, I went to Seattle, and I filmed some videos there. I went to like a Native American restaurant and cafe there. People didn't really respond to that either. Now there was one out there that people loved about the troll under the bridge. So maybe that one I'll leave up. But also creek walks. Some people like them, some people don't. And then sadly the moon tree videos. I love the moon trees and I liked finding them, but the audience didn't really gravitate to them. So what I'm gonna do with those videos is I'm gonna make them member only for now. I think I'm gonna think about this. Not set in stone, but my idea is all of the videos that are sort of in those topics that aren't super popular, but I really enjoyed making them. I'll just make them member only. So my members, if you want to watch them, if you want more content that I've made, you can donate a couple dollars and then you'll get it, or buy a membership for a couple dollars, and then you can watch as many of those old videos as you want that I've made over the past 6 months that didn't really do well for the wider YouTube audience, but maybe my hardcore fans, you guys would like it. So that's my idea. I'm gonna make those videos member only going forward. And maybe, speaking of memberships, the other type of video that the members have been really loving is the Abe Show. The Abe Show videos. I'm still doing the Abe Show. I think we're on episode 7 is coming up soon. So yeah, all of those sorts of videos, they didn't really do too well on the main channel, but going forward, they'll be in the membership area. Okay, so there have been 2 major setbacks. Let's talk about the things that have affected this channel. And the first one is pretty sad. I've been dealing with it today. Unfortunately, my car is kaput. It didn't pass inspection. It's got a big crack in the frame. There's no fixing it. It's done. So I've been looking for someone to buy it and selling it for parts, and it's just kind of a bummer because a lot of my plans for videos that I was thinking of making for this channel kind of rely on having a car to get out into the woods. I need to drive there. So I have to figure out exactly how to get to some of the places that I want to take you guys and show you. I will figure it out, but it's going to take a little while. I'm not sure how long that'll be, but I think there are some videos I can do. I can borrow a car from people I know, and I think there are some ways I can use public transportation to get around well enough to get to some of these sites that I want to go to. But again, I have to figure it out. So my car is gone. So that may affect this channel going forward, because I can't really do those sorts of adventures very easily. And it's too bad too, because I just sprained my ankle and I'm just healing. Like I'm pretty much 90% back, 95% back to normal, and I can hike again. But now my car is done. So yeah, so those have been some setbacks, the ankle and then the car. And then just in like a sort of, it's not really a setback in terms of making content. It's a little bit of a setback for making content, but unfortunately I haven't gotten paid from YouTube yet. All of the money that you have all donated to me for gas money and just to help me along, which I really appreciate, it's stuck in the YouTube AdSense, whatever portal they use. they won't pay it out. And that's something I need to work on now, because they've given me the runaround a little bit. They keep saying, well, wait a little while, and then the payment will kick in, and then we can sort it all out. And this has been going on since April, and yeah, it's a problem, and I'm not sure exactly. I'll keep trying. I'm just going to keep trying until I get paid. But it's been a bummer. One thing that I have done, though, is just given the fact that you all have so amazingly donated to me, and the earnings from the viewership has been pretty good, and the memberships have helped out. Thank you, members. All of that has added up to about $400, and with some of that money, I was able to purchase these microphones. So I've sort of borrowed against the future earnings, because I'm sure YouTube will pay me that money at some point. So I'm just sort of using those funds now to invest in the channel and make it grow. And I got these nice microphones. They're Bose microphones. So hopefully the audio on this video is really good compared to my early videos on this channel. And hopefully you've noticed that the audio has improved. So thank you for helping me get a better microphone. And once I get paid, I'll be able to pay myself back for the microphone and then keep investing in this channel in other ways. Maybe I'll use some of those funds to buy a new car. If this channel does really well, I can get a new car. So that would be a great goal for the next 6 months, to get a new car. Then yeah, so the microphone is an improvement. Another improvement in the channel is on the membership side. I did the first giveaway for members. That was really fun. I got a tree root from one of the trees that's been standing outside of Independence Hall for many decades. And recently, in the last 2 weeks, that tree got chopped down. And I went and got a piece of the tree root, the root of the tree that's been in that soil for many decades. And if you would like a piece of that tree root, I will chop off a little chunk and send it to you in the mail. But you got to become a member, and then you have to email me your address. So those are the improvements that I've made to the channel officially so far. Memberships and microphones. I've also done I played with the format in some of these videos. I've gotten better at just filming, I think. Like, I'm doing shorter shots with more views of what I'm looking at, as opposed to just me, selfie style. I think those are nicer. And then titles and thumbnails, I think I've gotten a little better at those over time, but those aren't really my focus. I really just want to focus on the content. Okay, so then future plans. I mentioned emails, because I need you to email me your address if you want a chunk of that. If you become a member, if you want a chunk of the tree root from Independence Hall, that tree. So speaking of emails, I'm gonna start an email list this weekend. That's the goal for either later tonight or tomorrow at some point. I'm very busy because I'm trying to sell this car and I've got some other engagements planned already. But if I can, then this week or this weekend, I'm going to send out an email to the email list that I've already started growing. So many of you have already joined the email list. It's been really cool to see that. But yeah, there's still time to join before the first one goes out. And then, I'm going to try to send it out this weekend. If I don't send it out this weekend, I will at least send a notification out somehow that, well, I'll just commit. I'll just send something out this weekend. So just send me your emails if you want to join the list, and I'll just include some information about videos and facts that I couldn't include in other videos, and just discuss some other things that are interesting to people from Delaware County and surrounding areas. Topics that I've found interesting, and we'll have we'll share some community insights and et cetera, right? Another thing, okay, this is a stretch goal, but several of you have wanted to meet up with me, and that's given me some ideas because I would like to meet up with you guys too. And I think what I'm going to do is I would like to launch a tour of Center City, Philadelphia. So what we can do is I have my favorite sites in Center City, some of which regular tourists don't always know about, right? They're kind of off the beaten path. So what I'm thinking I'll do is, if you want to meet up with me, let's go on a tour. I'll set up a tour. You can, there will be a ticket to buy, but we'll keep it very, very small, $5-10, something like that. And then we can all meet up and maybe we'll go to Man Full of Trouble, meet up at the tavern and then walk around Center City, Philly and do a little bit of a Saul Good history walking tour, right? So I think that would be fun. As a counterpart to that, if you can't make it into the city, but you still want to go on the tour, I'm thinking I'll also launch an audio version of the tour where I'll record myself giving little, an audio tour, you buy the MP3s and then you put in your headphones and the camera cut out as usual. Just like old times. That's fun. So the camera cut out, but what I was saying is you can get the audio tour and either listen from home if you want, or go when you visit Philly, you can walk around and do the audio tour yourself. So that'll be the Saul Good audio tour, also the Saul Good meetups in-person tour. And I'm going to work on that. I'm going to set it up. I'm looking at using Gumroad to set all this up. We'll see. I have to figure it out. But that's coming. And then the last thing that I want to set up is a merch store because I think it'd be fun. So I'll set up some t-shirts. You can buy a t-shirt that says Saul Good on it. And maybe some catchphrases from previous videos that have been, really fun. So that's really it. Merch store, email list, audio tour, and in-person meetups. That's all to come in the next, hopefully I want to get it going this summer, hopefully in the next month, but we'll see how it goes. And then let's talk about what you can look forward to in terms of like upcoming videos, because, of course I don't have a car anymore. So some of this is, we'll have to see, right? But I want to redo the Broomall Rock Shelter. Now this is the Queen of Darby Creek, right? That video. I was wrong about where the location of the burial was in that video. It turns out there are two tributaries that have two creeks that have the same name that go into Darby Creek at that point. And I was just on the wrong one. And I thought it was under a municipal parking lot. But it turns out across on the other branch of this creek is, it's called Langford Run. And that's where the Broomall Rock Shelters were. And the rock shelters are the burial ground. I didn't realize that they're the same place. I thought, when I made that video, I thought the Broomall Rock Shelters were a different location. So I'm going to redo that. And also, I've been in contact with the Penn Museum, where the remains and the artifacts that were found at the Broomall Rock Shelters, where they're kept. And I'm going to go look at those artifacts. And then, so we'll do a little museum tour of a little behind the scenes museum look at the artifacts from the Broomall Rock Shelter. And then we'll go to the Broomall Rock Shelter and actually hike to it. And I've tried to figure out how to get in contact with the people who own the land, but it's some mega corporation that is completely there's no one to contact. I've tried and it's not possible. So we might just have to just walk into the woods and dare them to stop us, right? I don't think anybody's going to care really too much. So we'll just do that. We'll do that at some point, hopefully this month. And then I want to do Penn Treaty Park, Shakamaxon. And Shakamaxon was an ancient Native American village that became Penn Treaty Park, where supposedly William Penn signed a treaty with Sachem Tamanend, to found Philadelphia and found Pennsylvania. And, that story we already have figured out is sort of apocryphal. There's not too much truth there. It's more of a fanciful tale. But it's a legend that forms the basis of the foundation of Philadelphia and the founding of Pennsylvania. And that, as a legend, it's very important. So we'll go to Penn Treaty Park also this month and cover that place. And then I'm going to figure out some more Lenape and colonial sites to do. It's going to take me a little time to figure this out now that my car is gone, but there's another spring in Bucks County that I want to visit, and there's another village site in Bucks County that I want to visit on a farm. So those are two possible Lenape sites coming up, and then there's a third. There's another village site that is down like near the border of where the Arc of Delaware meets Pennsylvania and Maryland. That tri-corner area. There was a Lenape village there, and we'll probably, if I can drive down there, we'll do that, and we'll also do the wedge, because the wedge is such a weird geographical thing from colonial times. So those are some upcoming videos. Again, not sure exactly when I'll get to them. Hopefully this July, but maybe in August. And then another idea I've had is, the people love these old cabins. I did the lower Swedish cabin got a lot of views. People love that. The oldest Finnish cabin, the C.A. Nothnagel log cabin over in New Jersey, that didn't get as many views, but it still did well. And people are really into these log cabins. So I'll try to visit a few more. Some of you, one or two of you subscribers live in old log cabins. So I'll be reaching out to you soon about those houses that you live in. And you graciously invited me many months ago to visit. Hopefully you'll re-invite me and we can make it happen. So, those are some ideas that I have for the future. So stay tuned for that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is an announcement that I have started a second channel. One of the types of videos that I enjoyed making when I sprained my ankle and I couldn't really go anywhere was I have a hobby of reading the letters that the founding fathers wrote to each other 250 years ago on these dates, because 250 years ago, right now, the American Revolution was happening, right? Like if you remember, the anniversary of Lexington and Concord was basically a month and a half ago. By this point, George Washington, the founding of the Army had been created. The Continental Congress created the Army by June 1775. And then by July 1775, George Washington had already gone up to Boston, and he was giving his orders and getting the army going. And in the meantime, the founding fathers were writing tons of letters back and forth. There were a few battles that were pretty significant. Dr. Joseph Warren was killed in the assault on Charlestown in Massachusetts. So there were some significant events that the founding fathers were writing back and forth, and I've been reading those letters every day on a second channel, and the name of that channel is Founding Fathers Letters. That's it, Founding Fathers Letters. I'll leave a link down below, so if you want to follow along, I try to put them out on a daily basis. I'm a little behind, like 1 or 2 days behind, but I try to put them out every day so that you can follow along with the revolution and with what the founding fathers were thinking as they were embarking on this great war against the British Empire. So Founding Fathers Letters, please go check those videos out. And yeah, so that's about it. It's been a wonderful 6 months. This channel has really changed my life. It's really kind of surprising. I'm surprised myself how much I'm enjoying making these videos. It's giving me a reason to be creative in a new way in my life. And I'm learning a ton. I really am. And I feel like I'm also giving back to our community. I'm showing people history that I've discovered, that I've learned, and then I'm able to share that with other people. And it's always, that's one of the joys of life, is it brings such fulfillment to be able to enrich other people's lives that way. through sharing knowledge and sharing, just sharing, right? So thank you for watching. This has been really special in my life. The last 6 months have been phenomenal. I've really grown in many ways. I'm getting used to speaking in front of a camera. Well, I'm very used to speaking in front of a camera. And I'm just having a lot of fun. So thank you. I hope you're along for the next 6 months. And I'm not going to do another update for a while, but please, let me know in the comments what you think about all these things that I've shared, the setbacks, the good things. If you've been through any of these problems with YouTube or lost your car's broken down, if you know how to sell a car, I'm trying to sell a car right now. Any advice about that? Any sites that you think I should visit that you'd like to see? I'm always looking for suggestions. Anything you want to say, please leave it down in the comments. And I try to respond to every comment that I get. So I'll at least read it, and then I'll respond over time. And also send me emails because I'm building up this email list. So, and then, remember to join the membership if you can spare a few bucks per month. That would help a lot. And just buy me a coffee, that kind of thing. It's that level of membership. And then you'll get access to all the old videos that I'm now going to make members only because they don't really fit with the channel going forward. But if you want some of those and then you want the Abe show, if you want to see Abe, my cat, all of that will be on the members side. Unfortunately, I don't have Abe with me to show you right now. But he's here with us. He's off having an adventure of his own. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye.